A very good day to you. I'm Hank Gross, Mid-HudsonNews.com. It's Wednesday, June 2nd. A video on YouTube filmed in Newburgh is filled with language and images that are anti-police, misogynistic, and vulgar. It also includes a brief cameo of Mayor Torrance Harvey smiling and pointing out of his car window. The mayor, who's a high school teacher, told Mid-Hudson News he drove to the neighborhood because he was informed of a large crowd of young people gathered, and he went there to check out the situation, saw a couple of his former students, and as they engaged him in a brief conversation, he responded, not knowing the content of the video or the fact that it was being recorded.
I do not condone that type of rhetoric. I come from the old school genre of hip-hop, Hank Gross, and in my day and my choice of music is on a positive, we're talking Run DMC, LL Cool J.
Orange County District Attorney David Hoovler said the mayor's video appearance may have been innocent, but with gun violence nationwide on the rise, it does not sit well with law enforcement.
It sends a message to all those in law enforcement, and the message isn't a good one. That we expect our community leaders to use more common sense in these circumstances.
The mayor said he would ask that his video be removed from the recording if he knew who had produced it. Tenants behind in paying rent and or utility bills due to COVID-19 hardship may be eligible for the state's rental assistance program, which is funded by the federal government and administered in partnership with Orange County's Departments of Social Services and Community Development. About $24 million is available to help those who are up to 12 months behind in back rent, as well as to pay up to 3 months of future rent, depending upon eligibility. Tenants and landlords who are owed rent by individuals may apply for the program. Payments will be issued directly to landlords and utility companies. A large group of area residents attended the Tuesday evening Hyde Park Town Hall session held by Congressman Antonio Delgado. It was the first in-person such event he's held since COVID struck. He told those gathered outside that serving in Congress begins at home.
There's a lot of distractions in Washington. There's a lot of ways that you can have your ego inflated. There's a lot of ways where you can chase power and influence and forget about the reason you were there in the first place. And so for me, these town halls are not just about hearing from you directly and answering your questions and getting a feel for your needs. It's also about anchoring me and making sure that I don't forget who sent me there in the first place, in the community that I represent.
Delgado also discussed legislation he's successfully moved through Congress and the COVID-19 related stimulus packages. City police in Poughkeepsie say a former city resident who now lives in North Carolina was shot and killed. Shortly after 1 a.m. on Friday, officers responded to 81 Washington Street, where they found Arion Stitch, who was 21, who had been shot. He was transported to the hospital, where he died. The victim had been hanging out with friends near the rear porch and rear yard of 81 Washington when an unknown person opened fire on them from Marshall Street, according to police. Senator Michelle Hinchey has announced legislation addressing efficiency and cost barriers facing broadband service providers seeking to build out infrastructure in rural and underserved areas of the state. I'm Hank Gross, MidHudsonNews.com.